Fourth, roll call, please.
Here.
Councilmember Rubio,
Here.
Councilmember Burrows,
Here.
Vice Mayor Armstrong.
Here.
Mayor Hudson.
Here. Next, please. The Pledge of Allegiance. Bernie, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
San Juan City Council, fellow citizens, pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Bernie. I go watch it when I go up there. Thank you.
Item 3, announcements. 3.1, changes and additions to the agenda. There are none this evening. Item 3.2, if you'd like to speak under public comment or regarding an agenda item, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room and bring it to the city clerk. Item 4, public comment.
Okay, we'll open up public comment. This time, the public is permitted to address the city council on any non-agenda item relating to business of the city council or any future agenda items or under section 6 of tonight's agenda, if you wish to speak on it. Do we have anything on 6 tonight?
Yes.
Okay, do we have any cards?
I do have one speaker card from Oswaldo Osakeda.
Waldo?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor,
Evening.
and council members and staff. First, I would like to thank you all for letting me speak. So yeah, my name is Oswaldo Segueda. So I'm a carpenter union from the local 152 Martinez, which I'm really appreciate to be in the position because it's one of the good thing about working on the union because it provides me a lot of wages for our family, even for our neighbors. But at the same time, I would like to speak about the labor standards, what is around the area, because that thing provide us more benefits, healthcare for the families, which is standard, which I have 3 kids. One is my daughter, she's 15, she's in the high school, which is very smart, which I love it, I'm proud of her. And also I have my second kid, which he's 13, he's in the middle school. And also I have my little one, my crazy one, 7 years old. So the reason I'm proud about the carpenter union is because it provides me a lot of work for all my neighbors, keeping good standards for the city, like in a good position as well. So, and pretty much all the neighbors are concerned about the issues around the area. So carpenter union is one of the things I would like to address to you guys, like I'm thankful even for letting me you guys talk about it, and I appreciate it for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
That was the only speaker card that I received.
Okay, and I would just say that we'll close the public comment. And though we encourage your comments, unfortunately, state law prevents the city from discussing items that are not on the meeting agenda. We do take them seriously. If there's anything that needs to be addressed, would have staff, but I don't think Osvaldo's looking for anything. So next item, please.
Item 5, consent calendar.
Okay, is anybody wishing to pull an item?
I'll move items 5.1 through 5.11.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor, before we have a vote, could you have the second reading of the title of the ordinance, please?
Okay. You got that one, Scott?
Yeah, let's see. Let the record reflect that we've read ordinance 520, item 5.11 by title only when it was introduced and do not need to do so again. That work?
That will work.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
That's the
Okay.
inclusionary housing ordinance and some other related matters.
Okay, any further discussion? So we have, all we need is the yes, no's and abstains.
Mhm.
Everybody in? We'll end it. Looks like a unanimous to me. Adopted.
Good time.
Next item, please.
Item 6, special presentation, 6.1, recognition of the 2023 Planning Academy graduates. Introduction by Lauren Barr, Planning Services Division Manager.
Good evening. I'm pleased to present the graduates of the 2023 Planning Academy. The goal of the Planning Academy is to engage and educate residents of the city on the city's planning process. The Planning Academy provides an overview of why cities plan, state and local laws, the local land use planning process, and how planning shapes our community. The course consists of 5 sessions where we cover specific topics related to land use, housing, parks and open space, transportation, project design review, environmental review, and the local land use decision process. The program culminates in a mock hearing exercise in which we review a theoretical project and demonstrate how the various topics fit into that case study. The Academy members take on the role of planning commissioners, developers, residents in favor and opposed to projects. And the exercise helps provide some insight on the complexities and the local decision-making process. So with that, I'd like to go ahead and introduce and read the names of the members of our group. And if they're here, please come down to receive your certificate. If you're not, we will mail them to you. So first on the list is Sarah Ali. She's not here. Next is Rohit Numala. Urshina Batudeva. And I apologize if I'm rough on some of these names. Roger Bergman. Robert Bickle. Chris Carson. Sarah Gao. Patricia Gilchrist. Sandra March. Yay. All right, sorry, I got to get caught up here. All right.
Or would have been here, Berna, if they knew you were doing the pledge.
Okay, Rob Mazer.
All right.
All right. Marguerite Manziti. All right. Clara Ono. Clara Ono. Nope. Rosa Poon. Udaya Rajbandari. Okay. Ramya Sonoy. All right. Bernard Schala. Close enough. All right, Tomami Yamamoto. Lino Vello. Yeah. Penny Blanc. I gotta find it. Sarah. Got out of order. Taking a chance here. I apologize for the delay. Maybe the last one. There we are.
All right, we got it, sorry. Got it. Because they took so long, you get an extra minute on your speech. Yeah. Let's take a picture of this. No, well, whatever you feel comfortable. with. Yeah, let's open that up. and See what we got. Okay, congratulations.
That's it. And then, as I mentioned, we'll make sure the rest of the attendees get their certificates via the mail.
Thank you, Lauren.
All right. Thank you. It was a great class.
Good. Yes, you guys did a great job. That's a lot quicker when I don't go down there. Okay. And our next item,
Item 6.2, introduction of newly promoted police captain, John Cranford, introduction by Denton Carlson, Police Chief.
thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. I always love being here for these. John may not as much because he challenged me. You can't do this without notes. That means we may get off track here, but we're gonna be all right. I love these opportunities because it's my chance to introduce some of the incredible people that make up our organization. And John is absolutely not an exception to that. Having him as one of the leaders in our organization has been just fantastic. A little bit about John, hometown guy, grew up in San Ramon, K through 12 schools in the San Ramon Valley Unified School District. So when things go bad, we can blame it on the district for John's formative years. But now he's come back to San Ramon, lives in San Ramon with his family, raising his kids in San Ramon. But for his career, John started in Sacramento with the Sacramento Police Department, was there for about 5 years, then came to San Ramon and has been here now for 11 going on 12 years. And throughout his career, he's had some outstanding experiences from, working routine patrol and being out there with people all the time, to being an FTO, to being a motor officer, serving time as a patrol supervisor, again, as a traffic supervisor in the motor division. Although it was kind of interesting because every time John was riding the bike, I found like he was just driving around the city looking for milk trucks. And it was weird. There's always those shiny, reflective semi trucks he used to find, and we just drive by it and just look. It was odd, but he got through that phase. Was a patrol lieutenant for us and has actually been serving as an acting captain now for about 5 or 6 months with the San Diego Police Department. I thought it was interesting, a couple of things that he listed when I talked to him today. I'm like, hey, just, can you text me a couple things? I want to make sure I get everything in there. And he listed a few things, which I thought was interesting. He listed that he's an elite drone pilot, which I thought was unique. And then extraordinary grant writer, which I thought was also unique. But as you well know, and as we talked about before, John was the author of our organizing excel data prevention grant. And was really the keystone for the success of that grant being awarded to the San Diego Police Department. So it's with great pleasure. And I think before I turn it over to John because he said he's got about 15 minutes speech written out. But
Guys with guns can talk as long as they want.
If they're loaded.
thank you, John, and yourself for the organization, development of the organization. That I wanted to sort of talk about tonight was we've gone through a ton of different testing. We just recently went through a whole protocol and started the testing process to get promotions in place. And as I did my one-on-ones with everyone who's on that list, one of the things that I wanted to ask everybody was, as a command staff, were we there for them throughout the testing process? Were we there to be a resource for them? Were we there to provide guidance, assistance, whatever it can be to ensure their success in this promotional process? And the one name that kept coming up time and time again, when we were having these interviews with John, down to one of the candidates that called John on a Saturday and said, hey, I want to set up a time where we can sit down because I want some advice on the promotional testing process. John said, hey, he knew the person was around the area. He said, hey, I'm at my kid's swim meet. I'm going to be here today. I mean, come on, we'll hang out. I mean, to the point where he's making himself available to folks in our department to better them, to develop them, to mentor them at his kids' swimming. And again, that was just the solidifying factor for me when I looked at the leadership group that we're developing here in Santa Monica. John's ability to be there for everyone through this process. And again, it's time and time again, these one-on-ones when I asked, John saying constantly came up. So we're in such a good place. I know I talk all the time about how I have the best job in the world. And I have the best job in the world because I can do work with the best people in the world. And John is no exception. So I'm excited to be here and to introduce to you newly promoted John Cranford in Santa Monica.
But I have to correct one thing here. The school district's a nice target, but the fire department's much easier.
Yeah.
They'll jump in, it's probably true. But I am a homegrown. Big deal up there. I live there. Their roots to this community are far more than just swim. And I truly love the city and just swim. So I'm very excited for this opportunity. Excited for where we're going. Copy this take this picture today, and I left that meeting just fired up with where we're going as a PD and where we're going as a city. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
15 minutes. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
You got a comment? Go ahead.
Yeah, I do. I appreciate you. You and the chief gave me a briefing last week on the organized theft retail thing, and I'm just really impressed with. Obviously, you put a lot of thought into the writing the grant, but now you've got a really good plan for how to make this work and work for the citizens, the businesses in San Ramon. I'm just really thrilled that we're doing that. And Chief, you're got to be one of the luckiest guys around. You've got Captain Chestnut and you've got Captain Cranford. I can't wait to see who the lieutenants are after you go through that process, because your bench is really deep, and it's been that way since Scott Holder. We've had really deep bench, and you keep generating new leaders, and couldn't be prouder. You guys are
threw me out
fantastic.
of the police academy.
Mhm.
I went in that bathroom. I shot the guy. I told him once to come out. That's all I get. One. I'm sorry. Floor is yours, John. Go ahead.
You guys.
Congratulations, Captain Cranford. Definitely your promotion is testimony for your dedication, commitment, and your integrity for our community. Thanks for all the work that you did for our community, and looking forward for greater services from you for whole community. Thanks once again. Congratulations. Enjoy the promotion.
I stopped by and talked to my wife to see if you were part of the Cub Scout group she had.
I'll go ahead.
Yeah, likewise, congratulations, Captain Cranford. I've seen you around quite a bit. In fact, the last time I think you gave a tour of the police department for a young mayor for the day, an elementary school kid who was mayor for the day. And he did a great job, but great job with that grant writing and getting us that $5.6 million. That's going to go a long way towards protecting our retail here in the city of San Ramon. So keep up the great work. Congratulations, well deserved.
Much needed.
And
Let us know if you need more.
and I can't, I mean, I reiterate everything that's been said. I mean, we are very fortunate to have someone who's been a lifelong resident here and is as dedicated as you are, and of course, our chief too. And he gave you such high remarks. I know they're true in fact. So we're just very lucky to have you serving us, and thank you. Thank you.
Sure you don't want 5 more minutes? Okay. Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 7, deferred consent items, we have none. Item 8, unfinished business, there is none this evening. Item 9, new business, 9.1, resolution 2023-114. Authorizing the exception to the 180-day waiting period under Government Code Section 7522.56 and 21221H for the hiring of a CalPERS annuitant and the temporary appointment of Darlene Amaral. Staff report by Maria Ferner, Public Works.
All right, Maria.
Hello, good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Tonight, staff is requesting that the council consider approving resolution number 2023-114. This is regarding the senior administrative analyst, Darlene Amaral. She retired as of October 13th, 2023, after 24 years of service with the city. Due to the immediate need to cover critical tasks in the transportation division, staff is requesting that an exception be made to the 180-day waiting period for the hiring of a CalPERS annuitant. CalPERS requires a retired employee to wait for 180 days before accepting temporary employment as a retired annuitant. There is an exception to this, which is the 180-day waiting period may be made if the employer certifies the nature of the employment, determining that the appointment is necessary to fill a critical need before 180 days have passed, and the appointment has been approved by the governing body of the employer in a public meeting. Darlene Amaral, as I mentioned, was with the city for 24 years, of which 20 years she was with the transportation division as an analyst, retiring as a senior analyst. Some of her responsibilities had included regional and local transportation projects and programs, transportation division budget, financial administration, reporting, grant management, database management analysis, contract management, also representing the city and the department on various regional and city board and committees, and provided administrative support and assistance with the Southwest Area Transportation and the SWAT Technical Advisory Committee meetings, and also managed and oversaw the SWAT Transportation Demand Management programs and incentives on behalf of the citywide 511 Contra Costa program. While staff is reviewing Ms. Amaral's responsibilities and determining the succession plan for her position, there are critical tasks that need to be covered and or completed in the transportation division. And Ms. Amaral has unique knowledge as well as skills to complete these tasks. Her wealth of knowledge and experience will help this department as well as provide valuable assistance with the succession planning. So some of the tasks proposed for Darlene as an annuitant include continuing her role in SWAT and SWAT TAC administrative services, as she had been doing in the past, SWAT transportation demands, programs and projects, 511 Contra Costa, and making sure we're complying with the SWAT agreement, and transportation division succession planning, which would mean it working with myself as well as the transportation division manager in developing a succession plan for programs and tasks formerly under her responsibility as a senior transportation analysis. The current plan is for the appointment to continue through February 29th of 2024, and the number of hours in the appointment will not exceed 960 per fiscal year. Ms. Amaral has agreed to the terms and conditions. Her compensation will be at will be an hourly salary rate equal to the senior administrative analyst as currently budgeted for fiscal year 23-24. No benefits or additional compensation beyond an hourly salary rate would be paid. She would be working on a part-time basis, averaging 2 to 3 times per week, not exceeding $40,000 for this current fiscal year. With that, staff recommends that the council approve the temporarily appoint Ms. Amaral as a CalPERS annuitant to perform special projects and tasks in the Transportation Division of the Public Works Department.
Questions of staff?
You
Yeah.
got this position is posted for being filled.
It is not posted as of this time.
Okay, you expect to do that soon?
I'm working with the city manager on the next steps.
I would say
Especially-
this is a tougher job than it sounds like, because Darlene for years was doing the SWAT budget. And invariably, La Miranda will come after every dime they can get. And they have the same traffic program, the same people as we have, and there's never enough money for them. Never enough. And I mean, Darlene just can't be thanked enough. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mark.
No,
Yep.
I've got nothing other than to say, I think it's a good idea. She's
Thank
done a
you.
great job for the city for 24 years. You got a lot of pressing work to do, so I'm in support of this. No questions.
Thank you.
It's definitely, as Council Member Perkins mentioned, the key is with such a extensive knowledge resource as Darlene, it will be tough to replace. So it is better we start initiating, appointing someone so that there will be knowledge transfer can happen within certain periods, so we can have a good, maybe not as same as Darlene, but at least someone who can replace her.
Thank
That
you.
will be great. Thank you. With that,
I can't believe you got her back.
with that, I'll move the motion on resolution number 2023-114, authorizing the exception to the 180-day waiting period under government code sections.
You need public comment on this?
Yeah, we do. Do we have any cards? Thank
We,
you, Mary.
we don't have any requests to speak on this item.
Okay, public comment is open, public comment is closed. That was tough.
Okay, so it's like,
I thought once she got a break and got away from Don Tatson, she'd never come back. Don would quiz her every year about that budget. Can't you find us $50 more, 500 more, 500,000 more?
Get your blue button. No, there you go.
Yes.
It's pretty unanimous. Thank you, Darlene.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next item, please.
Item 10, city manager and city council member comments and matters initiated.
Let's start with the city manager. He's always fun.
Great, thank you. I do have two quick items to note this evening. One, the 40th anniversary light parade is November 4th, so that is quickly approaching. The parade will be at 6:30 and I believe start around Camino Road to Bishop Drive. If I'm getting nods from Kathy, so yes, I got that correct. Be a shame if people showed up in the wrong location, but we are full steam ahead, and Kathy's department's been doing a great job. I'm sure it'll be a great, fun nighttime parade. Hopefully the weather holds out, but we'll see. And then the other item is that I wanted to note that we do have a location on our website for residents to sign up for our city weekly email. That email started over COVID. We were emailing it to everybody on the distribution list. And then over the period of COVID, we started paring it down to just people who signed up for the newsletter. We do have an easy way for residents to sign up. If you go to sanramon.ca.gov/weekly news, we send out the email every week around Thursday or Friday, and it's just about events that are happening in town and upcoming meetings and things that you would need to know. So wanted to make sure I promoted that this evening.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay, who wants to start with the council members? Sridhar?
okay, I attended our Transportation Advisory Committee meeting on October 19th. There was only one agenda item, that was San Ramon Bike Master Plan Update, formation of ad hoc committee. So committee got together and formed an ad hoc committee to come up with a plan for the master bike plan update. So that's one. And the second one is yesterday, Yeah, yesterday I attended San Ramon Historic Foundation meeting, and they did pretty good with the Oktoberfest. They're very happy, thanks to our PCS department for supporting them. So that's and they were also working on few upgrades and preparing ready for holiday events. So that's on San Ramon Historic Foundation. And the next thing is a couple of events in the community. There are some festival events that's already going on within the events within the community. So I could able to attend those. That's pretty much from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Marisol.
So on October 17th, I attended the teen council. And the following day on October 18th, we attended with some of my fellow council members here at the State of the School District. Had a really interesting presentation on artificial intelligence and the capabilities that we currently have and what we will likely can have in the future. Very interesting and exciting information in many ways. On the 23rd, yesterday, I attended the TrafFix meeting and we were talking about Measure J, congestion relief program, and just simply talking about where, how many buses we have and where, we are putting them right now. And there will be additional meetings in the future to finalize some of those things. But that's about it. Thank you.
Okay, well, let's see, we had the I attended the CCTA, that's the Contra Costa Transportation Authority meeting. They announced the street smarts for all, or safe streets for all, $48 million grant. And let's see, $4 million went to East Bay Parks for Carquinez Trail gap closure. $10 million to El Cerrito for pedestrian bike safety improvements. Antioch, L Street, right of way and utility, $24 million. Moraga got 3.8 for improvements on Moraga Road. Also, we had a nice briefing on the Gomentum Station. Gomentum Station currently is at the Concord Naval Weapons Station property, and they have clients that come out and use the facility to test autonomous vehicles under all kinds of road conditions. And so they're looking at what they call Gomentum Station 2.0. What should it look like in the future to expand the capability? There is nothing west of the Rocky Mountains like it. And so it's a unique opportunity to expand the capabilities, and it will generate about $150 million in economic activity when it's in its full design form. We also had a briefing on the current status of Innovate 680, and we have a new external affairs director, Lindy Johnson. Next morning, we went to the CCTA workshop and discussed all kinds of different topics moving forward. Let's see, then on Thursday night, MCE Board of Directors meeting. A couple of interesting things there. There is 110, we have online, ribbon cutting and all, 110 megawatt solar project with 60 megawatts of storage. So the way that works is during the middle of the day when the solar is cheap and plentiful, they'll load up the battery. And then at night, they'll discharge the battery. And you can actually make money on that because they do hour by hour pricing. And so in the middle of the day, kilowatt hour is not worth a whole lot. So you can pull those off very cheaply. And then in the evening, like right now, where there is no solar, you can put it back on the grid at a very increased price. We also approved new storage contracts. This one is strictly storage. There is no solar involved. It's 100 megawatt storage, lithium ion batteries, and it's 400 megawatt hours discharge. So it'd be 100 megawatts for 4 hours. The way this works is MCE actually buys the power to load up the battery, and then we sell the power when we discharge the battery. We make money on that arbitrage. And it's also fulfills a requirement from the State Public Utilities Commission for what's called resource adequacy. We also did another one, which was 35 megawatts and 280 megawatt hours, which is 8 hours of discharge of 35 megawatts. The way the company that owns the batteries makes money is we pay them for the capacity, not for the actual electricity coming and going. Let's see, what else we have? And then traffic's yesterday, way too much fun. Talking about buses, we have currently in the traffic system for the supporting the San Ramon Valley Unified School District in congestion relief. We have 24 buses on 39 routes. We started with 18 buses. We're now at 24 buses. And so we were discussing, do we have the right mix of schools and buses and how that's going to go forward? It's a real challenge to change the system because you take a bus away from one school to put it at another school. You just really pissed off one group of parents in doing that. So you have to be real careful how you do it. And it costs about $150,000 per year to put one additional bus into the system. So it's not trivial, and it would, it's quite expensive, but this is a congestion relief program, and the data shows that it's saving 1.1 million car trips by putting the kids on these buses. So it does help in both congestion relief and cleaner air.
And Vice Mayor Armstrong.
Okay, aside from the Finance Committee meeting last week, I really didn't have a lot of city meetings, but I did attend several community events. One was back on the 15th, the Culture in the Community event. The mayor and other council members were there. Great multicultural performances and different cultural booths from around the world and locally. And then on the 17th of October, I attended a update about East Bay Mud. John Coleman, our Ward 2 representative, talked about investments in infrastructure and talked about our water supply, and basically it's a very similar report to what we get here at the council, but he did that in the public setting. As Councilmember Rubio mentioned, the State of the School District breakfast. One of the other things at that breakfast was to recognize what they call the 30 under 30. These are school district graduates. They recognized 30 of them who had done amazing things under the age of 30. And so they recognized them and talked about the things they'd been doing. And then Dr. Malloy, the superintendent, talked about the district's strategic direction and the priority on deep learning and innovation and what a learner profile is, which tied in so nicely with what the guest speaker talked about on artificial intelligence and how that can enable deep learning in the future. Was sort of her theme. On the 19th, I attended it was a kind of a town hall, if you will, with our assembly member, Rebecca Bauer-Cahan. It was sponsored by the East Bay Leadership Council. It was over at the Roundhouse Conference Center in Bishop Ranch. And the East Bay Leadership Council President Mark Orcutt facilitated a discussion on different topics ranging from healthcare, housing, transportation, and finance. And then on the 19th, last week, I was invited to attend a Dublin Chamber of Commerce sponsored event. They have a thought leader speaker series, and the presenter was Dr. Harry Edwards, who's a renowned, he's a 50-year educator, taught at Berkeley and a lot of other places, sociologist and activist, has worked with Major League Baseball, the Golden State Warriors, the 49ers. His topic was the future of America, teaching and caging of the American mind. It was pretty interesting, but probably one of the big takeaways I took away from that was just emphasize the importance of getting to know your students. You know, if you're a teacher, get to know your students, show them that you care, and they will want to learn. But until you show them that they care, you may not get that same reception. And then on just this past weekend was Durga Puja, sponsored by a local community group, Acamoni. San Ramon, City of San Ramon was a partner this year for that event. Great cultural program of music and dance and different spiritual recitations and vendors and things like that. This is an annual Hindu festival. It's a celebrated tradition worldwide, and it's become a pretty big deal when it takes place here in San Ramon each year in October. So it's a great event.
Thank
And
you.
That's my report.
Okay, I would just say, yeah, Durga Puja is getting very big. I don't know if we could keep it in the same place, but I was just so thankful that the rain cut out when it did, because I was really getting concerned. I want to stay on something that Scott talked about with traffics. When we did this traffics program originally, we set up studies on where were the congested intersections, and it almost got hijacked into what was the best way to get kids to school. That's not the intent. The intent is to use getting kids to school to relieve traffic congestion. And when the first report came back and said that Broadmoor and Pine Valley would not be that busy, I went crazy. I said, I know better than that. The very first day that we put the traffics program in, I turned left onto Pine Valley heading west. And where normally it would take me 20, 30, 40, 50 an hour plus to get to Broadmoor, it was like, boom, you could get there. That's what this is about, to get you to be able to move around the city. Circulation in the city improved by these transit systems. And that's what we're really trying to do. That traffic program is a huge success. It's a lifesaver for Lafayette, Moraga, and Aranda. And I hope we can keep it going, but it really depends on that half-cent sales tax. This is what your tax dollars are going to. And it has worked out really well because we've done it in conjunction with Lafayette, Moraga, and Aranda. We use the same vendor, and it just has worked out well. I hope we keep it. I see Heidi's here. She had it for a while before she said, I'm out of here. But that Durga Puja I thought was very successful. We went to another festival, and thanks to Durga Puja, my wife now has a sorrow. She'll be ready to dance with Marisol at the next one, whenever we have the next festival. San Ramon has become the city of festivals. It's really neat to see where this is going. We're just keep growing and growing. I don't know how we're going to be able to keep up with it, because we can't match what Pleasanton has. When they do that at the fairgrounds, it's like, it's crazy. You can't find a parking spot, but we're doing okay. I think, every time I give a speech at one of the different cities about the festivals, I keep telling them, everybody brags, oh, we have a huge Indian community. I go, well, watch San Ramon, we're coming. And we just keep making these events bigger. I mean, we can be very proud of what we did this weekend, because nobody needs to leave town. Everything's right here. Okay. And if I have one regret this year, is I didn't push you to send one of our representatives back to APTA. When Chris was working, transportation manager was working at Bishop Ranch, I convinced Bishop Ranch to send him back to Houston. And you go back there, you can see everything that's possible, everything that's available. It's all on one floor. Needless to say, Houston and New Orleans had some pretty big floors, but it's that time of the year we just have to start taking a look around and changing signs or bus stops, because transit's going to be very big as Bishop Ranch builds out with the new arena numbers and everything that our planning people found out this year. And that's it for me. So next time the APTA has a big conference, be forewarned, I'm going to be in here pitching it. Okay, any public comments?
I have no speaker cards for this item.
Okay, well, public comment, if anybody wants to speak to our reports, is open. Now it's closed. See how fast that went? Next item, please.
Item 11, closed session. 11.1, convene to closed session pursuant to California Government Code 59457 to perform the evaluation of the city attorney.
Thank you. Does anybody on public comment on this item?
I do not have any speaker cards for it.
Okay, public comments open and closed. We'll be back as soon as we're finished with the evaluation. Meeting. Or what are we, October 24th? I forgot. Okay. The city council met in closed session and directed staff to bring back an amendment to City Attorney Martin license contract for review and approve in open session. The contract amendment shall reflect a salary increase of 6% and beginning on the effective date of September 25th, 2023. We got that right. And it was a vote of 5-0.
And we adjourn.
Next item,
Item 12, adjournment.
we're adjourned. Thank you.